Welcome as we continue our study of Colossians and chapter 3, verse 18. Wives, be subject to your own husbands, as is fitting in the Lord. So keep in mind the previous part of this chapter has really been talking about what Christ has done in you and the things that we are to put off and the things that we are to put on. So that's really they're talking about your individual walk as a believer and your individual growth. And now he's moving into relationships with other people. So wives and husbands here, these are just generic words for woman and man. But through context, we know that it's really talking about husbands and wives. And there's also idios is used in here. And so really what that's saying is it pertaining to oneself, belonging to oneself. So it's saying that a woman, the man who belongs to her, that she is to submit herself to him. And so submit is hupotasso, and it's used quite a bit. It's generally translated something along the lines of submit or be subjected to or something like that. But hupo is the prefix and it means under. And then tasso means to really to order. So to order under. And this is similar to how a private would be submitted to a captain in the military. Um, and so that's something that he chooses to do. He chooses to follow the captain's orders. Um, and he doesn't have to do that, but there are consequences to not doing it. Um, so that's really the part we want to talk about is so why is this order here? Why is this hierarchy here? And the reason is as is fitting in the Lord. So we can look at this is the way the Lord has ordained things to be. This is the order that He wants, and He does that for a variety of reasons. But in Ephesians 5, he discusses it a little bit as far as the specifics to a husband and wife. Keep in mind, all the rest, we're about to go through a whole pile of these relationships. It's not just husbands and wives here. So he's given order to a lot of things. But husbands and wives, it's really talking about um, the relationship between Christ and the church. So the husband is meant to model the relationship of Christ as head of the church, and the wife is meant to model the relationship as the church in relationship to Christ. And so, in that marriage is meant to really be a ministry tool that points to Christ as the head of the church and the church under him. And so, the as fitting. So, fitting is um, Aneko, and that's really echo and ana. Ana is up, or sometimes it as a prefix is repetition. Here, I think it's actually up. And then heko is to be present or to come. So really, if you put this together, is to come up or be to present up. So like if you were to give a gift to a king, for example, you would want to make sure that that gift is suitable to be received by the king. I think that's part of it because the husband's job is to sanctify the wife. And that's one of his jobs. He has quite a few as the model of Christ in that relationship. And the wife's job her is to be led by Christ. Or as the church to be led by her husband and through that sanctification process. And so that's really what as is fitting to the Lord is talking about is um, as your husband leads you through the sanctification process, respond to him. Now, that's an important nuance because what if your husband tells you to do something that doesn't line up with what Christ would want? Well, it's up to you to then at that point say, you know, this is not doesn't line up with God's um, beliefs. It doesn't line up with His will. So if He tells you to hurt someone, for example, you'd say no to that. Um, but if He encourages you in some way that is going to help you grow, then you should respond to that in a positive way. And that's really what this is talking about.